And welcome everyone to an America East chat. I'm Andy Katz, pleased to be joined by John Becker, the head coach of Vermont. 7-3, won 5 in a row after splitting the first 3 series against Lowell and JIT in Albany, sweeping Binghamton and Maine. John, you guys are now into a bit of a rhythm here. Hopefully it stays. How would you assess where this team is at right now?
Yeah, like you said, we're in a good spot right now. We won 5 in a row. And I knew that was going to be the deal because we didn't play any non-conference games. And so, it took the first couple of weekends to figure some things out. And we have, we lost a lot with graduation last year. So, everybody, we had a lot of returning guys, but everyone's stepping up into new roles. And I knew it would take a little while for them to figure it out. And we're still figuring things out like everyone else, but we're in a much better place now than we were to start the year for sure.
So look, I mean, I know it's kind of easy to be armchair quarterbacking, but when you look back on it, how do you feel about the decision to just do only league games for Vermont?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I would have loved to have the non-conference games and have a much better appreciation for the importance of those games. And, just the road trips, we went to Binghamton a couple of weeks ago and, it was the first time we didn't have to go day of, and it was just to be around the guys and to be on the road together really does a lot for the chemistry and a lot more than I guess I knew. So it was a school decision based on information we had and the state's recommendation. So there's really nothing anyone could have done differently, but obviously it would have been helpful to play a couple games to work some stuff out.
So I was talking to Bill Harrion, your peer at UNH, about these back-to-backs, and we know the Ivy's done it for years. But one thing that's interesting, and we're noticing a little bit of this, sometimes if you're going day of, it can be hard that first day, especially if you get delayed on the bus or travel, what have you. And then you sort of can get settled into the second day, and that second game can be completely different as long as your legs are there. How would you assess the way the back-to-backs have worked for you versus the 3 weekends, versus the last 2?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're getting used to it. I think there's a lot of adjustment goes on. Just how do you coach in an environment where they can hear everything you're saying, and then playing back-to-back, and it's just a different experience. And so I think everybody's much more comfortable now than we were, the first couple of weekends. And so. And then the back-to-back themselves, they are challenging, and, I try to talk to my guys about viewing it as just one long game, and just trying to, not get too high or too low, based on the outcome of the first game and we've done a better job, obviously, the last couple of weekends with that. But certainly I think there is a natural tendency, if you win the first one, to let down a little bit the second one. And vice versa. And so we've really tried to figure out how to keep our guys pretty consistent over the weekend.
While the numbers may not be equal, you're back to sort of being the top here. I mean, you're averaging the best at both worlds here. Offensively, nearly 75 points a game, defensively holding teams to an average of 60. You had average wins of over 30 points in the sweep of Maine. No Anthony Lamb, obviously he has moved on, but your big 3 are Ryan Davis, Steph Smith, and Justin Mazzulla. They're all in the leaders in scoring. So despite all the disruptions, the late start through 10 games, numbers-wise, efficiency-wise, and your contributing-wise from some of your top players, how would you assess where this group is at?
Yeah, I like where I like how this team is coming together, and the last couple of weekends have felt. I don't want to say normal, but more like Vermont. And we, like I said, we just had a lot of guys moving into different roles, new leadership group. And it's just, they've started to figure some stuff out. And those 3 guys have been great. Ryan Davis has been tremendous. And he was 6th man of the year last year. And, and Steph Smith, who, was a first team all league guy last year and a preseason first team all league guy, still hasn't played his best basketball. So that's something if we're looking for areas, things to look forward to, when he starts to play like we know he can play, that's going to add a new dimension to our team. And Justin's been good. But I think the guy that's been probably on both sides of the ball and just from a day-to-day consistency of playing at a high level has been Benny Shungu. I think he's had a tremendous year so far as the reigning defensive player of the year. He continues to be dominant on that side of the ball. And he's needed to score more this year, and he's been doing a really good job with that. And his assists are way up, so he's been really good. And we're getting there, and the defense has really stabilized us. Like you said, offensively, we're also the most efficient team in the league, and so obviously that's where you want to be, And so we'll see, though. We got the top half of the league here down the stretch, and so. We'll find out, how good we are.
Well, you got Hartford next. How do you beat them?
Yeah, I mean, they're playing well, and we've got to always with them. You got to guard the 3-point line, and they're good on the offensive end. But what the difference with this year's team, when I look at Hartford, watching the tape from their games against UMBC this weekend, is they're better defensively. They've gotten more athletic. Obviously they lost Flowers kid, which was a big loss for them, but they're playing well on the defensive end of the court. So figuring out a way to score against them is going to be the key. And we'll come up with a game plan, and again, we're going to have to do a day of travel on Saturday before that game. So we've got some challenges certainly in front of us this week, but it's a good opportunity to see how tough our guys are.
All right. And lastly, John, part of my soapbox this season is I don't want to hear about any asterisks. Whoever wins these respective leagues around the country or wins the national championship will have earned it. Maybe more so than any other year because of the obstacles, because of all the disruptions, the pauses, the postponements, the preparing and not preparing, and, not having guys, everything, masking, not masking. You are, more than anyone, you know what it's like to win the America East. How will you view a championship in this particular season?
I agree with you, and I think whoever wins it this year is really going to earn it, and just like the NBA, the bubble, and the Lakers, like that was an incredible feat. And I think the same can be said for the league champions this year and the NCAA champions. It's and everyone's got something that they've had to overcome, and certainly some teams have had it worse than others, and so forth and so on. But the thing that I'll say is I've been so impressed by all the student athletes, not just mine, but the other teams. There's much more of a camaraderie that we're all kind of in this together, and it just seems like it's been really a unique experience on a lot of levels, and I have a lot of respect for all these student athletes, and we're all trying to beat each other, but we're all like in this together, and that's a neat feeling. And so, we're trying to win this thing, and if we don't, we're going to be really disappointed like we would any other year. We're not just like hoping to get through this and letting ourselves off the hook, saying it's a COVID year, and we're not making any excuses. And if we my job is to get our team to play the best basketball this team can play. And I think if I can do that, we'll have a chance again this year to win the championship. And if we don't, then I'll take that hard. I'll reevaluate, and we'll build towards next year. But now we're in the middle of it. We got a little rhythm going here. I think this is going to be exciting and challenging, just like any other year.
Appreciate it, John. Stay safe and continued great success.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate you having me on.